In today's video, we're going to be exploring authoring tools. Specifically, we're going to take a look at Canvas and Articulate. We're going to talk about the standard features and what I believe to be the standout features, the publishing options. I'm going to share example interactions and give you my overall impression of these products. Instructional created Canvas in 2008. The creators of Canvas were two graduate students. They're the ones who created the learning management system that many of us have some exposure or experience with. My point of reference for this e-learning management system came post-pandemic when I taught virtual kindergarten. So I want to share some of the standard features and some of what I would call the standout features of Canvas. So from the dashboard, the students have their individual course cards. Now with older students, this is not an issue, but with kindergarten students, it can be a lot for them to manage separate course cards for every subject. For example, ELA, math, science, social studies, art, reading intervention. They would have a separate course card for each one of those courses that do not interlink. Therefore, the instructor has to come up with a creative way to help students navigate. For example, by using homework organizers or dashboards to bridge the gaps that are left from individual course cards. However, this feature becomes a standout feature for older students who need individual course cards to find their information. The course content is published to the license holder for that Canvas learning management system, and oftentimes school districts will link the login to their school's homepage or the landing page that has been created as the primary dashboard or place to log in from. If you're new to using Canvas in your classroom and need additional support with early childhood, you can find some tutorials I made while teaching virtually on TikTok or YouTube by going to my website, www.goloveteach.com. In conclusion, I have shared some of my example interactions with this authoring tool and my overall impression in that this can be a fantastic tool for educators and school districts. It can be a little tricky for very young children, but it's not impossible. So overall, I think this is a fantastic learning management system and authoring tool to create e-learning products. Next, we're going to talk about Articulate 360. This is the industry standard for professionals. First, I want to talk about what I would consider some standard features that are important to know. If you are using Articulate, you can use Rise 360 on a Mac. However, you cannot use Storyline, at least not easily, on a Mac. If you have a Mac that has an M1 chip or an M2 chip, you can download Parallels to create a Windows operating system on your Mac, and you can run it that way. Devlin Peck has a great instructional video that explains how to do this and the nuances of what all that entails on his YouTube channel and on LinkedIn. However, I'll say that I found the process pretty cumbersome. So that's an important thing to know if you are a Mac user, that it's going to take some planning and some finagling if you're not able to use a Windows operating system. So Rise 360 is incredible in that it comes with pre-templated micro-learning trainings, and I found them to be extremely easy to use. They're very well developed and designed. Here are some examples in Rise 360, which again works just fine on a Mac, where you can go in and find micro-learning or micro-training that's pre-created content and really well-developed course-like modules. Let's say I have a new manager training instructional design need for a company. Well, I can go in here and find an entire course that's already created and it's already structured with the content and laid out specifically like a course. See, here's the introduction, leading day-to-day activities, creating a positive work environment, developing your team. And when you dig into what is already there, it's really good information and well-developed courses. So this is a standout feature that I found in Rise 360 that is well worth the cost of having a license to use this very agile, dynamic software. So this is well worth it, even if you're not interested in developing in Storyline. I found Rise 360 to be a wonderful tool. The publishing options for Rise 360 are versatile. There are pretty easy ways to upload the course to a link that can be shared on a company website or e-learning management system like Moodle or Canvas, but they make it pretty easy in a file folder with HTML. So in conclusion, my overall impression is that both Canvas and Articulate, especially Rise 360, are great options, especially for educators. For professionals who are trying to transition into or are already in the business of instructional design, Storyline 360 is the industry standard, and you do have to have a Windows device. So I don't know enough yet to really give an accurate or fair review. I do know, however, that Storyline's capabilities are extremely dynamic, and I'm looking forward to understanding how to make magic happen using this software. So I hope this helps. I hope you learned something about an authoring tool today that you didn't already know, and thanks so much for tuning in.